which is amazing. But I love that.
Yeah.
I want to be around people who school me constantly because that's the only way that I can get better.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like what I feel like made this album so creatively fulfilling and rewarding is that I was in fucking school. Like I was like, you know, I was listening to classic albums that I'd never heard before because I grew up.
It was probably heavy on Latin music, right?
It was all Latin music.
Cuban music.
It was Latin music plus Michael Jackson.
Universal.
Period.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So I kind of went back and I was like, oh, what is this Radiohead that people keep talking about?
Right.
You know, what it like, so I think, yeah, I just like did a lot of studying on this album.
That's cool. So do you think all of this is going to inform
The
like,
next thing?
The next thing?
Yeah.
Just moving forward, your career, your whole...
I think so. Yeah, for sure. I think I think like Guincho and like, I think that I always kind of need to work with people like Guincho who really know their shit and just hold me to like a higher standard.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, yeah, something I really learned is just really putting a lot of love and care into something, which I feel like I really did. I put a lot of love and care into it, and I just love it.
It's a very cool
What's your
album.
favorite
It's a
song?
great album. I still like, I love it a lot.
Okay,
Because
okay.
it's straight up, and it's like,
Okay,
I want,
fire.
the funny thing too is you kicked it off with like the weirdest song on the album. Like you didn't
is.
hold it. You didn't hold
It
back.
is.
Like you were just like, we're announcing the album, we're going, and it is so, it's like abrasive.
It's abrasive.
But poppy.
Yeah.
And
I
just-
actually hate do you think I was right when I called it hyperpop?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. to be honest.
'cause
People say it. I don't know.
No, because I like said it and then it was like this hyper pop song and I was like, guys, it's not though. Like it's so many things at the same time.
Yeah. It's a lot of things. I mean,
It's a lot of things.
It's a very cool, it's a visceral record. I mean, there's stuff on it that sounds like that no wave stuff, like that early late 70s, early 80s New York, like underground club stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's just so, it's such a, I don't know, it just oozes like a cool, I think that I love it
Yeah.
thing. And,
It is. I also think like that's a, I was telling my choreographer, my choreographers Calvin and Sarah yesterday, who I've worked with for a long time, because we have like, I love it. And we have like Dade County Dreaming. Did you hear Dade County Dreaming?
Yeah. I didn't get you the album enough because I got sent a stream and the link was,
no.
but
Okay,
but
I'll
I
send
can't
you
wait
another.
to
I'll
hear
send
it.
you another
Like,
one. But
yeah.
like on both of those songs, I feel like I feel like mainly most of those songs, Man, Hot Uptown, and I don't know, and Chanel, but mostly I
the
would.
Lil Nas X cut is really cool too. I mean, like he sounds like
Oh my
really,
God.
he sounds amazing on
No,
it.
he went crazy on his verse.
How did that happen? Like,
He's really close with Jasper.
okay.
And so I think we were always just kind of like in the same family circles. And Jasper like played him my album and he loved it. And I think we've always been like kind of like loving and supportive of each other for the past like since we've met like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just always loved him. I just think he's like such an incredible artist. And we were thinking of like who to have on that song. And Jasper was like, oh, like, what about Nas? And he had never done a feature before at that time. So I was like, oh, I don't know if he's going to do it. But we asked, and we were so excited about the idea of like us both singing about the same guy or fighting over the same guy. Because it's just like, I just never seen that before.
It's just such a funny concept and
It
perfect
is,
timing
right,
when like
right?
challenges haven't just come out like
Wait,
fighting for the
right?
same
Yeah, I
person.
know,
It's like
it's so true.
that kind of drama of that.
So true.
And he sound like, yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect from it. You know, like
know.
what he would sound like on it, and it is a really cool like. I don't know. It sounds like he's almost in character or something. Like
Well,
there's
he's
just like
playing with new stuff too. Because he said the other day he was playing with the kind of like Jamaican, like New York, like the sounds, like the or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's kind of exploring different things in his different pockets too.
That's so cool.
But I was gonna say about Dade County Dreaming, and I love it. I feel like those were feelings that I always put on other people's music to tap into, like this feeling of like bravado or cockiness or like, which I feel like rap gives you, like this feeling of just like, can't fuck with me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
those songs have that.
And yeah, I'm just like excited that I get to I feel like I've am able to embody that now in my own music.
I love it. I love it. Have you had a chance to go to Cuba?
I was born there.
But like back?
When I was 14.
When you're 14, you went back?
Yeah, I was 14.
What was how was that?
I haven't been able to go again just because like passport issues and stuff like that. But I remember it was like right before I auditioned for X Factor. And my grandma was still living there at the time. Now she lives in Miami. Cool. And I had tons of family there. I still have family there, but a lot of people have come to Miami now, thank God.
Yeah.
Honestly, what I mostly remember is like I was like obsessed with Justin Bieber at the time. They had no internet.
Yeah.
And like they only had like the like a email app and like solitaire, but they had no internet at all. So when the whole world was obsessed with like Justin Bieber, they're like, we don't know who that is. And I was like, no, guys. Justin Bieber.
Now they know. Now they for sure know.
I don't know. I haven't been back, but the situation is rough.
It's bad. I was there a few years back. And
were you? What was your experience like?
Very, very strange. Like it was a weird experience because the people are so incredible.
The people are just precious.
Some of the greatest people on the planet that I've come across.
Warm, so generous, so loving.
Yep.
My mommy's Cuban.
Yeah, that's who it is, right? Yeah, There's a warmth, man. There's just a warmth. But then obviously, but then you're like also balancing that with like, and obviously the country itself is beautiful. The
terrain, the landscape.
The landscape's insane. But then you're also acknowledging, you're like, I remember we met a guy there. Amazing guy, so cool, and he was like showing us around, and so we were like, "Yo, come have dinner, like let's get you dinner." And he was like, "This is the first time I've had like lobster in 20 years." I go, "Dog, you live by the ocean? What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, we can't."
My mom never had lobster until I, had money now, but she never had lobster. They barely had meat or chicken or eggs. They had like 4 eggs a month.
Yeah. It's a really. I don't know. I always recommend it for people to go because you just can't. I don't know if that level of, it's just so bifurcated. It's so weird. My thinking on it is so strange. Where it's like people are beautiful, terrain's beautiful, it's lovely, and the music's incredible. I've never been to a more musical place in my life.
Yes.
New Orleans would be second, which is saying something.
Yes, totally.
But then you're like, man, these people have like there's no help. It's like it's kind of tragic. It's very tragic.
I know. I wonder. Like I feel like music and that warmth and that generosity is also like has evolved out of that pain too, and that hardship.
Right, which is another tough thing to stomach. It's like
I know.
All that pain did bring a certain level of beauty out of
totally.
Out of the
Have you ever seen this
people.
documentary Cuba and the Cameraman?
No,
it's on Netflix. It's amazing. It was the first time that I understood, because I had always heard my grandma and my mom talking about the different phases of the Cuban Revolution, and then what the situation was looking like when my mom left to go to Mexico. But that documentary, it's the same guy shot on one camera, 40 years of traveling to Cuba, I think every 10 years.
Wow.
So you see in the beginning, everything is amazing. And then maybe 20 years later, you see him going to the supermarkets and there's nothing on the shelves.
Wow.
You see him, going up to people and he's like, can I get a beer? Can I get some meat? They're like, we don't have anything. It was just the first time that I was like, oh wow, I'm seeing now through visuals and images what my grandma and my mom lived and we're talking about.
Because you didn't understand that by the time you left, right? When you were
No.
there.
I mean, I was 7, so I definitely, I would, as a kid, you have no stresses, and your parents, my parents, I feel like always kind of carried the burdens for me, like they never, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was having a great time. But now I have cousins that, like in the past, every year I feel like I have new family members that come because we're trying to get more and more people kind of out. And the things that they say is like, it's so crazy. Yeah.
Why did your dad go to Cuba, by the way? Because he's from Mexico City.
My dad is from Mexico. He only went to Cuba after my mom was pregnant with me.
Okay.
And it was just like to kind of visit family.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. It's just such an interesting background that you have. The I don't know.
I feel very lucky.
Yeah.
Because I just love having access to like my Cuban side and my Mexican side, like the people, like the food in Miami. Like I feel so happy that there's actually one song that didn't make the album because it's like not XOXO, but it was called Broken English that I wrote about my mom.
Oh, cool.
And there's like this one line that was like empty chairs at like a Christmas dinner table or whatever, because that's like how Cuban people always describe like just like immigrant families. And for so long, it was like my holidays were like, you know, just me, my mom, and my dad, and then my sister was born, and just the four of us. And now we're having more and more family come, and it feels very healing for me because I get to have cousins around, and I get to, I don't know, just like have access to a lot of things about me that were probably just like in me, but I didn't know that, oh, my cousin has that same, I don't know, like habit as me, or or like she has the same tick as my mom or whatever. Like it like feels very healing for me.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, and I hope you get to go back one day.
Me too, but even Miami in that way feels very healing for me because I get to spend time with them. And yeah, it's just like, it feels almost like, it feels like the new home that we've all had to make because we can't ever like really go back to Cuba or you know, we wouldn't go back to Cuba or go to Mexico. So it feels like Miami is like, okay, this is like where the new family line is being kind of created.
It's amazing. Well, Camila, thank you so much for making the album and for coming to LA and talking to us about it. I know you'd rather be in Miami, but you're here in my hometown.
No, because then I wouldn't have gotten to meet you, and you're so lovely.
You're really good with people. Thank you.
Oh, stop it. No, I really mean it. You have really great energy.
Oh, thank you.
You have very calming, kind energy.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Welcome.